So this is a new physical medium pickup. I picked up a bunch of things at Barnes and Nobles. I picked up one thing from Walmart. So the first thing is what was the Steelbook edition on 4K. It does come with the theoretical and aesthetic cut of this movie. So I can't remember how much longer it is. I've seen both cuts of the movie. I thought this movie was great. I had it on Blu-ray and I figured, alright, I'll upgrade to 4K. I'm not somebody who's like a big Steelbook person. The only 4K they had at Barnes Nobles for this was Steelbook edition, was fine. The Steelbook looks really, I think the Steelbook looks really cool. I'm just not somebody who's like a big Steelbook person. I actually prefer the Steelbooks with the slipcover because I always feel like those look cool to me in my opinion. Overall, though, I think it's a great artwork for the Steelbook, and it's a great zombie movie. Brad Pitt I think is great in it, and it's one of those zombie movies that was originally planned to be a trilogy. Because I know, I think there's like multiple books, like it's based on a book, and the ending does set up a sequel. Because I know this was going to be 3 movies, and the movie made like over 500. The only thing with this movie is that the budget was like over 200 because I believe they had a bunch of reshoots with this movie, and it's still like the funny thing is this and Rogue One, Star Wars Story are examples where movies that went through reshoots that still ended up great in my opinion. So this is an example where to me reshoots aren't always a bad thing. Like yeah, most of the time reshoots is a bad sign for a movie. And then there's movies like this, and honestly, Rogue One, a Star Wars Story, where the movie still ended up being good in my opinion. So that's the front. That's the back. Which I like the artwork on the back too. I think that looks really cool. And you got 4K. You got uh, artwork on all the discs. You got artwork in the back with Brad Pitt and his family. And like I said, it does come with the extended cut, and it does come with a bunch of bonus pieces, which I always love as a bonus piece guy. Great movie, great zombie movie. I highly recommend you go check it out if you haven't seen it. And like I said, I figured I had it on Blu-ray, so I'll upgrade to 4K. Next then is Life of Chuck. Great original movie. One of my favorite movies based on a Stephen King book was. It's funny because when you watch this movie, it doesn't like for me personally, it doesn't even feel like it's based on a Stephen King book. Because I'm so used to Stephen King movies based on books that kind of like more of a horror feel, well, still feel like more of a horror movie. I would say this is one of the most unique movies based on a Stephen King book. Because for me personally, it didn't actually feel like the usual like type of Stephen King movie based on a book, where usually a movie based on a Stephen King book has like a horror vibe or coming of age vibe. I thought this movie was fantastic. It was one of my favorite movies. Was one of my favorite movies from last year. Tom Hiddleston is great in it. I will say this though: if you're expecting to see a lot of Tom Hiddleston in this, he's not in the movie too much. So just to let people know, if you're gonna check out this movie, I know he was on the poster and everything. He's not in the movie a lot. The stuff like the amount he's in this movie, I think is great, and I think the whole cast do a great job. You got Mark Hamill, who I think is great in it. Karen Gillan, great in it. So you have a lot of great actors, and they all do a great job. Great story, and it's a feel to me it's a feel good movie. Like it's a great compelling story. We get invested in the characters, and it's a movie I highly recommend you go check out. It's one of my favorites of last year. That's the front. Tom Hiddleston dancing was plays into a scene into a great dancing scene in the movie. Then you got the back. It does come with some bonus pieces when it comes to the making, Susan Monstead interviews, and then you got the disc there. Great movie, Life of Chuck on Blu-ray. Highly recommend you go check out Life of Chuck if you haven't seen it. It came out last year. Next in is Predator Badlands on Blu-ray. This was the one Walmart item. I thought this movie was great. One of my favorite movies of last year. And the director of this movie also directed Predator Killer Killers, anthology animated movie that came out on Hulu before this. And then Predators came out on Hulu. And this director, in my opinion, is on a streak. I have loved all 3 of these last Predator movies. And I love the original Predator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. These 3, in my opinion, these 3 Predator movies in a row have been the best since the original. And I love how all three of them feel different. Like I love the fact with all three Predator movies, the director has done something different with each Predator movie, whether it be Prey to go really back to a different time period, or Predator anthology to have an anthology story with different time periods with ties together at the end. And then this one was from a perspective of Predator, which I love. I think the idea of having a Predator movie with the Predator's main character, I love that idea, and it's executed really well in this movie. Like I felt invested in the Predator in this movie and his story. I love the buddy relationship that it develops with the android, and I loved her character. I thought the story was great, the action was great, and it really made me want to see more stories with this pet, with this predator, the main predator in this. Like I'm just like, yeah, I felt so invested in this predator. It's like I want to see more stories. You get more into a little bit more of the clan of the predator in this when it comes to the family element of the predator, which it was really interesting to see in this movie. And the idea of just seeing a predator was not just a hunter, I think to me made it really compelling. It was like something different and unique, and it's executed, in my opinion, really well. I know the one thing people were worried about when this movie was announced was it was going to be PG-13 because outside of this one, the only other PG-13 Predator movie is the first Alien vs Predator, and I'm going to be honest, watching the movie, I didn't have a problem with that, with this being PG-13. To me, this made sense to be PG-13. When it came to the first Alien vs Predator movie, the first one, which is the only other Predator movie that's been PG-13, like I said, that movie made no sense why that was PG-13. This made sense to me. The story they were telling with the fact that you had the Predator on an alien planet where it's fighting monsters, androids, and other predators, and predators bleed green blood, and androids don't. He's fighting androids, so it's not like a bleeding red blood. Like when it comes to when they get cut and stuff like that. To me, I didn't have a problem with it, like with this movie not being all rated. It made sense to me with the story they were telling in this movie and where it's taking place. And you can get away, and to me, you can get away with a PG-13 rating if it's not like if you're not if the movie's not like a lot of like it's not like bloody and violent when it comes to like killing humans. Like when a monster's killing other monsters, killing androids, you don't need it to be all rated. Like I totally understand why fans didn't like the idea of a PG-13 Predator movie. I get that with fans. In my opinion, though, this isn't like the first Alien vs Predator. That is an example to me of like that movie made no sense why that needed to be PG-13. With the first Alien vs Predator movie, that movie you had Predator and aliens fighting each other on Earth, killing humans in the crossfire. That movie to me is an example of that was just the wrong idea to do a PG-13 Alien vs Predator movie. Like that movie made no sense why they made it PG-13. Like that's the one I felt like was like okay, that should have been all rated. This with the story they were telling and where it's taking place and the fact you don't have any human characters in this, to me I didn't have a problem with the whole no all rated. It made sense what the story they were telling in this movie. I know for some fans that bothered them, like I said, it didn't personally I didn't have an issue with it. Like it wasn't what like it didn't feel like one of those things where it was like, oh, they just did a PG-13 just to tone down a predator. They were telling a story where there was no human characters in this, and you don't need it to be all rated. So that's just me personally. Like the whole, I, the whole fans getting upset by not being all rated. I get that because all the Predator movies have been all rated outside of the first Alien was Predator and this. This movie felt like it made sense to not be all rated, whereas the first Alien vs Predator movie made no sense for that to be PG-13. This made sense with the story they were telling why this movie is PG-13, and it worked for me. So I love this movie. I thought it was fantastic, and it's a movie I highly recommend. It was one of my favorites of last year. And this director's on a streak. Like 3 in a row. I cannot wait to see what other Predator movies this director directs. I'm excited personally with the future of this franchise after these 3 movies. So you got the back there. It's come with some bonus features. And I really like the slipcover. I wanted to get the 4K, but they only had the Blu-ray at the Walmart. And I still think the slipcover for the Blu-ray looks really cool with him in the armor and they grow on the back. And then you have the front, which is the same as the slipcover. Back. Like I said, this comes with some bonus features. And and you got the Blu Ray there. Great part of the movie. I highly recommend you go and check this movie out if you haven't seen it. One of the best ones, in my opinion. Next in is the Blob Steelbook, the 4K Blob Steelbook. Which I'm not a big Steelbook person. I actually prefer the Steelbooks with the slipcovers. I think those always tend to look more cooler. I do think this artwork looks great though. Like I don't have anything against Steelbooks. I just don't like buy a lot of Steelbooks. Like I have some Steelbooks. I'm just not like a big Steelbook person. The artwork looks cool though. So you got the front there, which I think does look badass. You got the back there with nice artwork. To me, this is one of my favorite horror movies. It's a horror classic in my opinion. I had it on 4K and just like the standard 4K edition. My old 4K though had like a crack in it, and the case was really that just bothers me sometimes. Like I like to keep myself in like really great condition. It was just bugging me, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna like get a 4K of this, and they only had the steelbook edition, so I'm just gonna pick it up. So you got the Blu-ray and 4K because it does come with a Blu-ray and 4K. And you got some artwork on the side there, which that looks nice with the artwork inside. Overall, great looking steelbook. I'm assuming it does come with some bonus pieces. And it's just a classic horror movie. If you haven't seen the Blob, go check it out. Next then is the the Wolfman on 4K. This was one of the best movies of last year. I thought this movie was great. Channing Tatum plays this very likable character who you're just like he's the smartest person in the world, but he's also the dumbest person in the world. You just rooted for his character. He was just so likable, even when he was making bad choices. And at the end of the movie, I just felt bad for him. I was like, and this is based on a true story. I don't know how accurate it is to a true story, but the whole idea, I think, the whole idea of the story was that there's this guy who decides to hide out in Toys R Us. And it's just a great movie that I recommend you go check out if you haven't seen it before. Chan Chan was great. Kristen Dunst, I think, is fantastic in this. Also, they have great chemistry, really bind them together. That's the front. That's the back. And I think the front cover of this is really fun. Like, I think it looks fun with the whole, like, him having the big teddy bear on a soldier and the goofy sunglasses. And then you have the front and the back is the same as the slip cover. And you got the Blu-ray and 4K. Great movie. I highly recommend you go check out Wolfman if you haven't seen it. It's one of the best movies of last year, in my opinion. Next thing I picked up is Nightmare Alley. Great Guillermo Toro movie. He's one of my favorite filmmakers personally. Barry Cooper's great in this. Okay, is great in this. And this is a Criterion class, which they always do great releases. Like it comes with a really nice box. I like the artwork on the front. Got the back here. It shows you all the bonus pieces and Criteria. To me, they're the second best when it comes to bonus pieces. Arrow, in my opinion, is the best when it comes to Paxton and bonus pieces, but I'll put Criteria in second place. Like I still think Arrow is the best when it comes to bonus pieces. Criteria, I definitely think is in second place for bonus pieces, and they do a good Paxton too when it comes to these like bosses. And another thing about this release is it comes with a black and white extended director's cut. Which I didn't know there even was a extended cut of this. And I think that the idea of putting this movie in like a black and white version, I actually think this is one of those movies that will look cool in black and whites. And I'm curious what the extended cut, how much longer it is, because I've only ever seen it through reticle cut of this movie. I haven't seen the extended cut, so I'm curious what it adds. And it's just, I think this is a great Paxton. Like I said, love the artwork on the front, and I'm definitely want to check out the extended cut of this movie at some point. And you got artwork on the front there, which looks really cool. You got the back, the artwork, the carnival, and the devil there, which I think that looks really cool. I love the artwork on the back. And then you got for this set, it also comes with this, which is just stuff about the movie. Got some pictures on here, so it comes with that. And stuff about the movie. So it's just a great great addition of the movie, in my opinion. Like, I would definitely recommend Nightmare Alley if you haven't seen this movie, and if you're looking for like the best edition to get, I would say get this edition, the Criterion one. It comes with a bunch of bonus features. Like I said, you get the Senate cut, which I'm actually really excited to check out the Senate cut, like I said, because I haven't seen the Senate cut of this, and I'm curious what it would look like in black and white. Next in is the Criteria collection, the Breakfast Club on 4K. Was This is an upgrade for me because I had a 25th anniversary Blu-ray release of this movie, The Breakfast Club. I figured out this is one of my favorite movies. It's a classic movie. The whole cast is great in it. Great in it. I think just the concept of the idea of putting these kids together, these characters together, all from different cliques in high school. I think this just makes for a great story and compelling characters. I think the cast has great chemistry in this movie. Great movie, like I said, classic. And Criteria, they do a great job with the releases. It comes with busted bonus features. Get the back there. Get the front cover there with all the characters on the front. And you got the disc there. Blu-ray and 4K. And you do have some artwork on the inside, which is two of the characters. I think the rest of the artwork probably shows, I'm assuming, the rest of the characters. Which is, there you go, you got the rest of the characters there. So that's some nice artwork on the inside. You also get a little booklet here that says the brain, the athlete, the basket case, the princess, and the criminal. So you get a nice little booklet that says that on the front. Back there doesn't show anything. It's just about the movie, and some pictures, behind the scenes stuff from the movie. Just overall, great release. Classic. If you haven't seen The Breakfast Club, go check it out. To me, it's one of those classic movies that still holds up, and it's just one of those movies that I think is fantastic. One of my favorite movies, personally. So I was like, I had to upgrade it to 4K. Next thing I picked up was Dragon Ball Super Broly. One of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. Like, I love Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball Z, with Dragon Ball Z being my favorite of the anime series. I like Super, didn't love it. I love Dragon Ball Daimo, I think it was called, the newest one. I love that up until the finale. I wasn't the biggest fan of the finale of how Dragon Ball Daima ended. I love that series up until the finale, though. GT I wasn't a fan of. This to me is one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. I had it on the standard Blu-ray release, but I figured I saw the steelbook there, and I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, so I figured I'll I'll get the steelbook and I can get rid of my just standard Blu-ray of it. And it's a nice looking steelbook. Like, you got Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta on the front, you got Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Goku on the back. And this to me is one of my favorite Dragon Ball movies. This, the Bardock Special, and History of Trunks are my top three favorite Dragon Ball movies. And I love the interpretation of Broly in this. Like, I didn't really care for Broly in the old Dragon Ball Z anime movies. Like, he looked cool in the old movies. I just never really cared for his character, besides the fact that he just looked cool. And the idea of like the legendary Super Saiyan. I felt like this was a much better interpretation of Broly. Like, I really fell in love with this version of Broly in this movie, where I really felt for his character. I really loved the backstory he had in this movie. I hope we see more of his character because it is canon to the show. It's a great movie, great action. It was cool to see Vegeta go Super Saiyan awareness as somebody who has Vegeta as his favorite character. Like, Vegeta to me is my favorite character in all Dragon Ball franchise. And it was cool to see him go Super Saiyan Web for the first time in this. The animation, I think, looks fantastic in this. Some of the best action, the story's great. To me, I wish they kept this animation for the Gohan superhero movie, which I like that movie, didn't love it. And the animation looks good in that movie. I prefer the animation in this one, though. I love how the animation in this looks kind of like hand drawn classic while at the same time looking modern. it just like I just love how it looks in this movie. It does a great job with the animation style in this. Where I'm just like, I wish all Dragon Ball movies would have this animation style. How I wish the show would use this animation style. And then you got the disc there. This is the Blu-ray, I believe. Yep, Blu-ray, and then you got some artwork in the inside there with the glaciers of ice, where Goku, Broly, and Vegeta fight. Just Dragon Ball. I figured I'm a big Dragon Ball fan. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball, and I was like, this is one of my top ones. And I figured, I'll get the Steelbook. It's a nice looking Steelbook. So great Dragon Ball movie. If you're a Dragon Ball fan, this is one of the top ones I would recommend to go check out. Next in is Back to the Future 40th Anniversary 4K box set, which came out last year, and it comes with Blu-ray too. I had the 35th anniversary Blu-ray box set, which came with the hoverboard, and I figured I'm gonna upgrade it because that box set was only Blu-ray, and I love the first Back to the Future movie. I love Back to the Future 3. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I prefer Back to the Future 3 over Back to the Future 2. I like Back to the Future 2. For me, though, I don't think the second one's great. It's the weakest for me in the trilogy. Like, I don't like the second one. I don't love it, though. Like, some of the problems with the second one for me is that I think the tone in the second one feels a little all over the place to me, and I do feel like the second one, just the story in the second one just doesn't feel as tight to me. It feels like we're jumping to so many different timelines in the second movie that the story just feels a little flimsy and not as like tight and as focused. I love the Western vibe of the third movie, and the third movie just felt much more focused. The first one's my favorite. Like that's to me one of the all time best movies. The third one I think is a great sequel, and the second one I think is a fun sequel. Like it's good. Like I like the second one. I just think it wasn't as it wasn't as focused as the first and third one. I think for me, I felt like the story was more tighter in the first and third movie. And the tone was more. I would say more like for me it was more consistent in the first and third one. So that, but I was like, I had to get the 4K, the 40th anniversary. It came out last year, and like I said, I had the 35th anniversary Blu-ray box, and I was like, I gotta upgrade this because the fact I love the first and second one, and I think the second one's a fun, solid, entertaining sequel. Like I said, even though I don't think it's great, I still think it's entertaining. The second one. So you have the front cover there, which I think that's great. Which I think the artwork was great on the front. You got the back, and it comes with a bunch of new bonus features. I do think it does come with some of the bonus features from the 35th anniversary release. I don't know if it has all the bonus features from that release. I'm not sure about that. Let me know in the comments. It does come with a bunch of new bonus features for the 40th anniversary, though. Over 9 hours of bonus features. So you got 40 years later, reflecting on the future, Back to Hill Valley, Untold Stories of Back to the Future, the TNCM Classic Film Festival panel, and a Mystery in History. So those are all the new bonus features. And then you get some previous bonus features. I'm assuming it's from the 35th anniversary Blu-ray. I'm not sure if it includes all of them from there. I am happy though you get that much bonus features because I always love boss sets when it's like if you're gonna do a boss deck, give me like hours of bonus features. Like the 35th Blu-ray anniversary boss set had bonus features. I'm glad this one, added new bonus features too. And he just over 9 hours of bonus features. That's to me great. Like I love when you get like a good chunk, like a really great amount of bonus features for boss sets. So that's the back. I told you all the bonus features on the front. You got the first one here. First Back to the Future. You got the back there. So you got the 4K there. And then you got the Blu-ray, you got the bonus feature. You got the second one here, 4K, which I like the cover art for all three of them. You got the back there. You got the 4K and Blu-ray. You got Back to the Future 3, the cover art there on the front. You got the back there. You got the 4K, Back to the Future 3, and then you got the Blu-ray of Back to the Future 3 and the bonus features. So overall, I think this is a great set. I would recommend this set if you're somebody who doesn't have these movies. And if you're somebody who has a Blu-ray box set, I would say it's worth an upgrade. If you're somebody who really loves these movies and loves bonus features and wants to own them on 4K, and you get the Blu-rays with it too. So to me, it's like I would say this is probably the best box set to get of Back to the Future because of all the bonus features and the fact you get the Blu-rays and 4Ks. So to me, this was a great upgrade. Next then is Everywhere All at Once, the collector's edition from Barnes and Nobles. I had it on Blu-ray, but I figured I'm going to upgrade to 4K, and I saw they had this really nice collector's edition. I'm a big fan of these collector's edition stuff like this. And it comes with a bunch of stuff, and this is to me one of the best multiverse movies. I highly recommend go check out Everywhere All at Once if you haven't seen it. So it comes with a little sleeve like that. Get some nice artwork there. So I really love that artwork. It's not on the back. And this comes with, you got the 4K disc there. And you got stuff on the inside here. So it comes with some stuff that's related to the movie, which I love that. I love little stuff like this when it comes to just having stuff related to the movie. So I think that's really cool. Hopefully you can see it. I know there's like a glare there. Apologize if you guys can't see it too well with the glare going on there. Like that. Just little things related to the movie. Got this big poster here, which I think is really cool. A nice size poster. I think that's really cool. Got a little book here. This is just pieces of here. Versions there. That's really cool, I think. That there. Yeah. Also pretty wars. You got these things on the back. Got more paperwork that's related to the movie. And lesson paperwork that's related to the movie. I think this is really cool to get little trinkets and stuff like that that's connected to the movie. And then it tells you this contest on here. So you got list of like the bonus stuff that comes with the movie, which looks like you get a good amount of commentary, silly scenes. And I would definitely say get this if you're somebody who loved this movie. I think this is a great collector's edition for this movie, and it's worth it in my opinion. And like I said, I had it on Blu-ray. Might as well upgrade it to 4K. I think this is just a nice 4K collector's edition to have if you're a gigantic fan of this movie. And then the last thing that I got release wise is I got this is the last thing the X Trilogy box set. I thought this was really cool. Like it, I will say this: you can't really put it in a shelf because it's kind of awkward how big it is. That doesn't really bother me personally. I thought the art, that looks really cool. The artwork there, and you have the back there, and then it comes out like That like that. And for me personally, when it comes to this trilogy, I love Pearl. I thought Maxine was great. Pearl was my favorite. X is the only one I honestly don't like in this trilogy, and I know that's unpopular. I know I'm minority when it comes to that movie. I remember watching X, not really liking it all that much, not being a fan of it. And go off to I'm a fan of her. I think she's honestly better in Pearl and Maxine. I would say Pearl is the best performance, especially the most one scene at the end where she's the kid is crying. It has that really great dialogue scene at the end. Like I think she's fine in X. For me personally, I loved her more in Pearl and Maxine than I did in X. And just overall, I just wasn't a fan of the movie X. The first movie of this trilogy I don't like personally all that much. So that's what it looks like when you take the sleeve off. It's worth getting because I do love 2 out of 3 movies, so this is a box set worth getting. And if you're somebody who loves these movies, definitely get this. I think this is just a nice collector's edition box set. Like you get a little book, you get a big book there, and of the extras, which has pictures, some concept art there of the movies. Goes into details of the making of the movies. I think it's really cool. You do get some concept art here and just stuff about the movies. It's just a really great booklet here. Then you got this here. It's nice artwork there. And it opens up like this. You have X there. And I like how this is open. I think this is cool, honestly, how it's open like this. You got Pro, you got Messine, oh, the 4K. So it's just a nice little collector's edition box set. And it does come with some bonus pieces to tell you right at the bottom there what the bonus pieces are. It's nice and sturdy, which I like box sets like that feel like that. And it's just to me, it's a great collector's edition. Like this is worth getting if you're somebody who really loves this franchise. And I would say if you're just somebody who loves like 2 out of the movies, I would say definitely get this. In my opinion, it's just a nice little box set for fans of the franchise. It is out like I can understand how it'd be awkward to fit on your shelf though, because you can't really put it anywhere. But I think overall, it's a nice little box set to have if you're somebody who's really into these movies and is a big fan of these movies. So that is all the stuff I had that I got in my pickups. Until next time, movie fans.